As of right now, there's 116 exotic weapons in Destiny 2. Most people would rank them by their performance in raids, dungeons, the Crucible, maybe even Gambit, but I want to do something different. Today I'll be ranking each exotic by their name, since what's the point of having a god-killing weapon if it doesn't sound cool? I'll only be covering the kinetic slot weapons for this video, so if you do enjoy and want to see me cover the energy weapons and heavy weapons, let me know in the comments. Alright, now let's get to the rankings. Sweet Business, a fitting name for a minigun. My only complaint is that a minigun can't get a business degree, so I'm counting it as false advertisement. Easy A tier though. Sturm. I went and looked up what Sturm meant, just in case I was missing something, and all it did was make me more confused. D tier for having a bad name and for hurting my brain. Vigilance Wing. It's good, nothing special, but it's not bad. It's a fine name with nothing wrong to it. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Ratking. S+, no questions asked. It's a perfect name for this tiny sidearm. I have no complaints. Definitely deserves S+. MIDA Multi-Tool. I really love this exotic, but the name for MIDA just isn't that great. For one, it ain't even a multi-tool. Where's my pocket knife, and where's this compass even supposed to be pointing? MIDA is just like LIFO, where it's just full of false advertisement. Bottom of D tier. Crimson. Nice and simple, flows right off the tongue. I'm gonna give it A tier. I don't think it's worth S tier, but it is a really good name. The Jade Rabbit. I really like the name of this exotic, but there's one rabbit-sized problem it has. The gun isn't Jade at all. I don't like when my exotic lies to me, so I'm going to have to put this exotic in C tier. The Huckleberry. It's alright. My main problem with this gun is that it sounds like it was named after a stripper. The data ornament it has definitely makes a lot of sense now. C tier. The Suros Regime. It's pretty good. Definitely better than when this exotic was called the Orcish Regime. Putting it at the top of B tier for now. Cerberus +1. I like this one a lot. It's honestly kind of funny to think of Cerberus with an extra head. B tier for the name and a gold star for its creativity. The Wishender, S+. I love the name of this exotic so much. Calling a weapon that was used to kill armed cars, the Wishender, is just perfect. S+, no questions asked. Malfeasance. I'm a bit biased towards this exotic, but it deserves D tier. The name fits the exotic, but it sounds like a 13-year-old found the edgiest word in their dictionary. Bottom of D tier, you're lucky it's not going in F tier. The Ace of Spades, S+, it's perfect. There's nothing else I really need to say about this exotic. It's perfect, everything, down to the last minute details. The Chaperone, it's good. I feel this exotic could easily be called anything else, like the Navigator, and the name would work just as well. B tier. Izanagi's Burden. I don't know who Izanagi is or what their burden is, but I ain't complaining. It's a good name, I'll be putting it in B tier. The Last Word. On its own, this exotic is probably high B or low A, but the lore for this exotic makes it so much better. So I'll be putting it in S tier, but you do need to understand the backstory for this exotic. Arbalest. I'm giving it A tier since Arbalest is a type of crossbow, and I really want crossbows out of the Destiny, and no, Buried Bloodline doesn't count. Thorn. The lore for this exotic doesn't really improve it like the Last Word does, but it's still a nice simple name. Top of A tier right below Last Word, as it should be. Outbreak Perfected. It's a great name on its own, and I also like how Outbreak went from Prime to Perfected in Destiny 2. That tiny change alone makes it worthy of going in S tier. Lumina. It upsets me that pretty much no one uses this exotic. I mean, it has the looks, it has a cool name, it has the lore, and a pretty cool perk. Putting Lumina in S tier since it's S tier in my heart. Bad Juju. It's a fitting name for this exotic, and it's pretty good. I just don't really have much to say about it. It's going in B tier. Monte Carlo. I have no clue why my favorite bayonet is called Monte Carlo. It's not a bad name, it just doesn't really fit the exotic. C tier. Bastion. I mean, the name fits the gun, but Bastion is just a really boring name. There's nothing special about it, and I'm gonna put it in F tier, and hopefully it's the only F tier in this video. Witherhoard. Saying Witherhoard just makes me imagine a horde of Minecraft withers, and considering how terrifying this exotic can be, I say the name fits. S tier. Traveler's Chosen. Fitting name for a celebration weapon, and a weapon that was made specifically for us. Not much else to add. A tier. Hawkmoon. Easy S tier. It's not the most fitting name for this exotic, but the name is cool enough and I can let that slide. Hawkmoon is S tier, and I won't elaborate any further on it. No time to explain. The name of this exotic is only good for those who play Destiny 1, and I did play Destiny 1, so I'm putting this exotic in S tier. Dead Man's Tale, or third S tier in a row. What can I say? It's a lever action with a really cool name. I couldn't ask for anything better. Put it in S tier. Cryosthesia 77k. It's a good name, but I'm still mad that this exotic has permanently destroyed the autocorrect on my phone because I can't spell cryosthesia for the life of me. But I can move past that, so I'm gonna put this exotic in B tier. Ager Scepter. It's a good exotic, and Scepter is a neat sounding word, but that's about all I got. C tier. I don't read the lore that often, but I have a feeling for those who do would put this exotic a lot higher. Forerunner. It's a Halo reference. That's all I need to say. That's all I will say. A tier. Osteo Striga. If I'm correct, this exotic translates to Bone Witch, which I think is pretty cool, but that's really about it. B tier. Touch of Malice. Just like Malfeasance, the name of this exotic is just pretty edgy. Not that big of a fan of it. I'm gonna put it in D tier right next to Malfeasance. Quicksilver Storm. Alright, I want you to hear me out. I'm gonna put Quicksilver Storm in A tier, but I would put this exotic in S+ if it was just called Quicksilver. I personally feel like calling this exotic Quicksilver Storm instead of Quicksilver just slightly ruins the name. I think it would be far better if it was called Quicksilver. A tier. Revision 0. I like the cleverness of this name. It's a reimagining of a hockey gun and it's a prototype, so calling it Revision 0 just makes sense. I'm gonna put it in S tier. I think it deserves it. Final warning. It's a good name that was put on a very unfitting weapon. Maybe if this name was on the Titan's Fall Small Pistol, it would be ranked higher, but right now I'm gonna put it in B tier. Conditional Finality. I really like this exotic, but I do not care for the name, especially considering Collective Obligation already exists. C tier. Verglas Curve. Two very interesting words that, when put together, just don't really go that well. I'm putting Verglas Scepter in C tier. The Navigator. It's good. I feared this exotic could easily be called the Chaperone and work just as well. B tier. Necrochasm. I'm just going to put you in C tier with your father and Malfeasance for the exact same reasons. Wishkeeper. I like the yin and yang that this exotic has with Wishinder. I also think it's really funny how I have both Riven and her husband collecting dust in my vault. S+ for our final exotic. That's my ranking for all kinetic exotics currently in Destiny 2. Thank you all for watching, and let me know which exotics you agree with and which exotics you really agree with. Take care, and I'll see y'all next time, unless you're Wicked Implement. If so, don't come back.